Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing well, because today we're going to be ranking every single dinosaur from the sequel to Jurassic Park, which is also known as The Lost World, well, more commonly known as The Lost World. Now, obviously, we're going to be ranking these dinosaurs based off on how much aura they have throughout the film, which is it's a pretty self-explanatory concept. I don't think much more needs to be said about that, so we're just going to jump right on into the ranking, starting off with the Compsognathus. Now, the Compies. Okay, if you're someone named John, okay, you might think, oh, there's no way these guys have any aura. But you're wrong. All right, you never listen to John. That's rule number one. Never listen to John, because you would be wrong. These guys have a lot of aura. So essentially, all right, throughout the film, well, first off, the first time you see them in the film, they were kind of just like hopping around the beach. This little girl was eating her sandwich. They kind of hopped up to her, and she's like, "Oh, these guys look cool. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a piece of the sandwich." Now, because these guys are greedy little demons, ungrateful little demons, well, one might say, they just attacked her. They just straight up jumped her and attacked her. Now, I don't think she died. I'm pretty sure she survived, but she still got attacked. And I mean, honestly, if I was that guy, if I was the green little fellas, I would just take the sandwich, man. But nope, they decided, no, we're going to jump her and we're going to try to eat her, which is what they did. So they did that. And then not only later on in the movie, okay, there's just this random guy in the woods. Maybe not random, but there's a guy in the woods. He was exploring. Maybe not, no, I think he got lost. All right, he got lost in the woods. And then these guys stumbled upon him. And of course, they tried to eat him. But this time they succeeded. They did, in fact, eat that guy. About 20 compies murked a grown man. I'm pretty sure he also had a weapon with him. So that's just kind of crazy to me. I mean, imagine being these tiny little green fellas, and then you take down like I'd say about a 200-pound man. Now, me personally, I would have never let that happen, because I can chuck him like a brick. But obviously, I guess the guy in the movie didn't try that, which is why he got eaten. But back to the actual ranking. I don't know, it's just the fact that these guys alone were able to take down like a grown man. It's kind of crazy. I mean, these tiny little, like, these are tiny, dude. I'll have a size comparison up on screen, but like, they're actually just tiny little dudes, and they managed to take down the guy. And that's kind of aura on its own. So low key, we're gonna have to put the compies in A tier. I can't lie to you, because jumpy little green fellas managed to kill someone. And of course, they're obviously the most dangerous creature in the entire franchise, so that's also why they have to go into A tier. But moving on, we have the Pteranodon. Now, a little fun fact for you. Originally, there wasn't supposed to be a Pteranodon in this movie. There's supposed to be a Geosternbergia, which I feel like that would have been a little bit cooler, because we got the Pteranodons in the next movie, which I'm going to be making a video on that. I'm also going to be making a video on dinosaurs that we almost got in the Jurassic franchise. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to hit 10K before the end of the year. But back to the ranking. The Pteranodon didn't really do much in his movie. They kind of just like flew around and then landed on a tree and did the pose that you see. Like, I mean, they didn't really do much. However, I will say that pose does have some aura. Like the fact that you were barely on screen, but yeah, this is one of the fans' favorite designs of your creature, of your species. That's aura on its own. So we're gonna put Pteranodon into B tier. Moving on, though, we have the Stegosaurus. Now, the Stegosaurus is kind of an interesting one, because you first just see the little baby Stegosaurus, the little cutie patootie. Then you see the mama and the parents, and then they get angry. And low key, I can't lie to you, seeing a herbivore actually do some damage in a movie, well, not do some damage, but seeing a herbivore actually be a threat in a movie is kind of refreshing. Because a lot of the modern Jurassic movies, the herbivores aren't really a threat to the humans. They're kind of just there, you know. They're kind of like, oh, herbivores are good guys, carnivores are bad guys. Which real life, that's not true. I'm pretty sure herbivores kill more humans than carnivores in real life, and that number would definitely be higher if dinosaurs were still alive. So I don't know. It's just kind of nice, kind of neat to see the Stegosaurus actually being a threat, especially because it's protecting its baby, which is also aura. I don't know, just the scenes of the Stegosaurus walking along the water, the scenes at the end of the movie with the Stegosaurus kind of walking near the Rexes. They do have some pretty good, they do have some aura. And also at the campsite, they had some aura. But, you know, being captured, that kind of loses some aura. But just overall, the Stegosauruses are pretty cool dinosaurs. Glad they put them in this movie. I'm going to put them into A tier, because like I said, they did attack humans. And this is like one of the only times in the Jurassic franchise that a herbivore like actually attacks a human. Like, not accidentally, because like the Ankylosaurus in Jurassic World like kind of attacked the human, but that was more on like accident. But like these guys, they were trying to hurt the humans, you know. And I don't really think I don't even know if that's happened at all in like any other movies. Now that I'm thinking about it, It didn't happen in Jurassic Park. Don't think it happened in Jurassic Park 3. I don't think it happened in Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom, not really. And then Dominion, we don't talk about Dominion. And also Rebirth. Also, yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is like the only time in the Jurassic franchise that a herbivore actually tried to hurt a human. Like on purpose, I think. Well, other than the Stygimoloch and Fallen Kingdom. I'm pretty sure he was trying to hurt Chris Pratt. But other than that, this is like one of the only times one of the large herbivores try to hurt a human. And that alone gives it some aura, so we're going to put it into A tier. Moving on, though, is the Parasaurolophus now. The Parasaurolophus, again, didn't really have much screen time in this movie. In the first one, it did have more in this movie than the first one, because in the first one, it was just like a background thing, but in this movie, it's kind of like up in front and center. The humans are trying to capture it and bring it to San Diego. So that's kind of cool. But other than that, it's just like you kind of solve them running, and then you solve them get captured. And I'm pretty sure you saw a corpse, unless I'm confusing that with Rebirth, which I might be. But I'm pretty sure the T-Rexes were eating a Parasaurolophus. I swear, that could have been Jurassic Park 3. I don't know. But like I said, Parasaurs running around, get captured. That's about it. And honestly, we're going to put it into D tier, because at the end of the day, it didn't really do much. Like an animal this size in real life would it would mess a human up, dude. This is like horses kill a lot of people. And this is like twice, maybe 3 times the size of a horse. And they're just like cannon fodder. Humans just take it down. Which, I mean, I guess the humans had cars, but like still, this thing, in real life, this thing wouldn't, it would mess some people up. It would mess a lot of idiots up. But obviously, Jurassic Park isn't real life yet. And it didn't mess anyone up. So we're going to put it into D tier, and we're going to move on to the Mamenchisaurus. Now, I like the Mamenchisaurus. A lot of other people don't even know he exists. Because, I mean, first off, kind of just looks like any other sauropod. And they don't really, I don't think they call it a sauropod. I don't think they call it Mamenchisaurus in the film. But it is Mamenchisaurus, and it was barely on screen. However, it does have some aura to it because of, well, one, the extremely long neck. Mamenchisaurus has an extremely long neck. I think it has maybe the longest neck out of any IRL sauropod. So another little fun fact for you. But then, I mean, really all they did was just kind of walk around. They didn't really do much, but they also kind of like, they were unfazed by the motorcycles and the cars. I mean, they were going with the stampede. Not stampede. They were moving with the herd of other dinosaurs too that were being chased by the people trying to capture dinosaurs, but they kind of were just like moving, because I mean, like, they didn't really care that much. They didn't really do that much. I will say their size alone definitely gives them some aura, but it doesn't give them too much. So we're going to put them into C tier. Pachycephalosaurus, all right? Now, I would say that these guys have some aura, because there's this guy trying to capture them, and then I'm pretty sure the Pachycephalosaurus like head bumped them or whatever, and they kind of like flipped, I think. That could have been Fallen Kingdom. Because again, this was happening during the herding scene where the capturers were trying to capture it. So I would say it had some aura then. But then also, they just called him he was like, oh, get the Pachycephalosaurus. And he's like, which one's that? And he's like, the bald one, or the one with the bald spot on its head. I can't lie. That's some aura loss right there, all right? Like, you just be calling the bald one, all right? Your dinosaur name is the bald one. That's just some aura loss right there. I can't lie to you. So we're going to have to put the Pachycephalosaurus into D tier, because I ain't taking that disrespect if I'm a Pachycephalosaurus. Like, you just calling me the bald one, I'm just going to run into you know what I'm saying? But I don't think he did that. Well, he kind of did. But still, like, I ain't getting captured after getting called the bald one. But this guy did, so he's going into D tier. Moving on, though, is the Gallimimus. Now, I can't lie. The Gallimimus in this movie have a lot less aura than they did in Jurassic Park. Because in Jurassic Park, they actually did something. They were kind of like a threat to the humans. But in this one, they're just running around, which is kind of what they're known for, I guess. But that's like all they did. They just ran with the herd. And I'm honestly going to have to put them into E tier. Because at the end of the day, like, it's not doing anything. It's just a dinosaur to be there, you know? It's just, oh, hey, this dinosaur's in this movie. Look at it, you know? It doesn't actually do nothing. It doesn't have any moments to shine, I guess you could say. So we're going to put the Gallimimus into E tier, and we're going to move on to the Tyrannosaurus Rex couple, the buck and the doe, and also Junior, little Junior. I can't lie to you. The T-Rexes in this movie, I feel like they had more aura than the original. Because, like, first off, okay? You have the baby T-Rex, which we're not going to talk about it. The baby T-Rex, you can't really, it's a baby. You know, a baby dinosaur isn't going to have that much aura. But, like, the mom and the dad, the buck and the doe, dude, they, like, took down that entire camper, dude. Like, they, like, knew Junior was in there. And they went up to him. You know, they knocked that whole camper off the cliff, okay? They're, like, looking in. That's just some aura on its own. Just the eye in the camper aura, okay? And then, later on in the movie, you have the guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. And I didn't put it in my notes for some reason. But the guy, he gets ripped in two by the buck and the doe, all right? They're just pulling up, see the car, see the guy, and they just eat him. Just like that. And that is some aura, okay? Now, you might think, oh, that's about it. Not much more aura for these guys, but you're wrong. So they do that, and then later on in the movie, they just pull up on the camp of the people. And the campgrounds of the people, and they eat a good bit of the people and make a lot of them run away. I remember this one scene where, like, the paleontologist guy is in the waterfall, and then, like, a snake falls on him. Because the T-Rex is chasing them. And then they go in behind the waterfall to be safe. And then a snake falls on him, and he gets scared, and he runs out, and he gets eaten, and you see the blood falling down the waterfall. That's just aura on its own, dude. That, I can't lie to you. That is insane aura on its own. And then later on in the movie, you have San Diego, which the T-Rex kind of loses some aura. But, like, I don't know. Not by crazy. Like, it loses a little bit of the aura. I don't know. I just feel like the whole San Diego scene at the end of the movie kind of just, I don't know, it just feels weird. You know, you have this whole film kind of set on the island, and then, oh yeah, let's go to San Diego, which, I get it. That's the point of the movie. They're bringing the dinosaurs to San Diego, but, like, the only one they brought was the T-Rex. I feel like this is bad for business, dude. Like, welcome to Jurassic Park. Come see all the dinosaurs we have, but we only have a baby T-Rex and a normal T-Rex. Now, honestly. Now, obviously, people would still go to see that, but that's besides the point. But getting back on with the aura, you know, you have Junior eating the guy after he broke his leg in the trap. And also the T-Rex running around San Diego, causing mayhem, eating the dog, you know, looking in the family window. That was kind of aura. And then not only that, I think earlier in the movie as well. Actually, no, I think that's about it. I think that's about all the T-Rex scenes in The Lost World, which, honestly, just on that alone, I feel like it has a bit more aura than Rexy from Jurassic Park. The T-Rexes in this film had more aura than Rexy, so we're going to still put them into S tier. Moving on, though, with something that doesn't have more aura than Rexy, is the Triceratops. Now, they keep doing the Triceratops dirty in these movies, dude. Like, the first one, its tummy hurts. That's the whole point of the Triceratops in a movie. It's tummy hurt. And now this one, it's just captured and then they let him free. You know, the bad guys capture him in the camp. The good guys let all the dinosaurs free from the camp and cause a little mayhem. That's about it. I'm pretty sure it's like a 30-second long clip of the Triceratops. Like, the total Triceratops screen time in this movie is 30 seconds, all right? The IRL T-Rex killer, I don't know, it just keeps getting disrespected, dude. I can't lie, but it doesn't have that much aura. It's still, I think it's still D tier aura because it did cause a little bit of mayhem in the camp, but at the end of the day, like, so did the Stegosaurus. Pretty sure Pachycephalosaurus did too. I could be wrong. I think I am wrong, but still. Like, the Triceratops, it just didn't do much, dude. You know, actually, I'll be nice. We're going to put the Triceratops into C tier. Because it still had some aura, but it didn't really do nothing too crazy. It doesn't have a crazy amount of aura. So we'll put it into C tier, and we will move on to the Velociraptor. Now, the Velociraptors in this movie look really cool. I can't lie. The design is really cool. And if you want to see me rank other Velociraptor designs, there's going to be a link in the top right corner. But moving back on with this, design aside, they have a lot of aura, okay? So essentially, they go into long grass, all right? We all know the long grass scene. They're like, don't go into long grass. And they did it anyways, and then the raptors jumped them all, okay? That is aura. You can't lie. That is aura. And then also in the worker village, there's a lot of raptors, and they just eat a bunch of people. That is also aura. However, there's one tiny little thing that happens in this movie that makes the raptors lose a lot of their aura. And that thing is getting kicked, I guess? Gymnasticked? I don't know. The girl did gymnastics, did a little swing, and kicked the raptor off. Now, that's just huge aura loss, all right? Like, the apex predator, all right? One of the most dangerous creatures on this island just got kicked off the balcony or the ledge by some girl doing gymnastics. Like, that's just a huge loss in aura, dude. Like, no matter anything else happens in this movie, that is still loss in aura, all right? That's still a lot of aura lost. I'm gonna have to put the raptors in A tier, because, like, that one scene, okay? You have the most terrifying creature just get kicked off the balcony ledge. And I can't lie, that's just a huge loss in aura. And that is the end of today's video. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Again, we're trying to hit 10K before the end of the year. But in case you don't do that, and in case I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.